Hey, welcome back to Zombie Tactics. Today I want to introduce a new header or concept or series for a number of videos that I'm going to be doing, and that's going to be called Ungun Solutions. You'll see that the title for these videos all start with UGS. And the topic of today's video is just kind of to introduce that series and kind of tell you what I'm talking about and offer some solutions along those lines. Now, what are ungun solutions? Let me put it to you this way. Those of us who own and carry firearms for the purpose of self-defense, home defense, hedge against tyranny, whatever. If you really get right down to it, our purpose in owning firearms is not so that we can be the heroes, so that we can save the day. It is really a much simpler and much more sensible approach than that. We want to protect life, we want to save lives, we want to defend lives, whether they're our own or the people in our family or other people who may be in our care or in our vicinity. To whatever extent we choose to take responsibility for those around us, that's a personal choice. But the point is this: we don't have the gun because we think that's the only thing that will do any good. We just realize that it's one of the tools that will do some good. But we also know, if we think about it, that our goal is not just to be a gunslinger, not to be a hero. Our goal is to save and defend and protect lives. Now, to that end, there are all kinds of things we can do that have nothing to do with guns that can actually save lives. And I'm even talking about circumstances where we would traditionally think of a gun having something to do with that. Maybe an active shooter incident or a home invasion or something like that. We would think of a firearm as being a tool. That's a great tool to save our lives. Well, and it is in those cases. But there are other cases, terrorist attacks, the bombing kind of situation that we had in Boston, natural and man-made disasters of various kinds where, a gun really doesn't come into play there. It doesn't really help us. It doesn't hurt us to have the gun on us at that time, but it doesn't help us. And the first concept that I want to introduce to you is the idea that you need to have some kind of medical capability and medical kit on you. Now, I know that most of the time that people do a video like that, they talk about something like this. This is my blowout bag, my, trauma kit or whatever, and this is full of all kinds of good premium stuff, and the price of this, probably if you put it all together from parts, is about $100. Now, that's daunting for many people. They go, $100? Holy crud. Now, even at that, I think, that ought to be your goal, to get to something like that. But oftentimes we do something, and this is one of the themes that runs through a lot of videos that I do. We make the perfect the enemy of the good, and we say, well, I can't afford to spend $100 on something like this, so I can't, be involved in giving assistance really effectively or anything like that. Well, the first part of that is that far more important than the medical kit that you've got on you, in your car, on your range bag, or whatever, is the knowledge that goes with it. So along those lines, I would recommend that you take some kind of medical training. And the idea, again, is don't make the enemy the perfect of the good. I actually was looking into getting EMT training just for myself, even though I have no desire to be an EMT. And I found out, wow, that's many thousands of dollars to get that kind of training. So I kind of go, ooh, the price tag kind of high on that. I've taken some basic medical trainings, gone to some courses for kind of basic trauma care. I'm CPR certified and AED certified and all that kind of good stuff. But regardless of what level you can approach that training and knowledge, do it at whatever level you can approach it. If there is a first aid class available through your church or one of the local learning annex type programs, wow, that's probably going to cost you very little money to get some knowledge that you didn't have. You may think that you had that knowledge already because, you were a Boy Scout or something like that 20 years ago, but a lot of things have changed since then, and you need to make sure that your knowledge is up to date and that you're in the best position able to have, the stuff in here correct so that you can render aid here. Now, in addition to that, the concept of let's not make the perfect the enemy of the good. Just because we don't have that doesn't mean that we're worthless. If we get some knowledge, either from taking a course or reading books or something like that, we can equip ourselves fairly inexpensively to be able to make a difference and possibly save lives. One of the things that's come out of the Boston bombing is the idea, just the simple thing, tourniquets save lives. And I'm going to be doing a video called Tourniquets Save Lives to kind of do an overview of the different kinds of tourniquets are out there and what you might want to get. But along those lines, you don't think that you can afford to put that together and carry it with you all the time, because first of all, it's $100, and second of all, I don't know how big that looks on camera, but that's, you know, probably not something you carry with you everywhere. Maybe you could throw it in the car. But I'll bet you can afford $4 or $5 for a TK4 tourniquet, right? And that's $4 or $5, and that'll fit in a pocket, a purse. It'll fit in a glove compartment of a car. Heck, you can put 2 or 3 of them in there, and now you have an actual bona fide tourniquet that you can do some good with. So again, if this is all you can do, this is what you can do. If all you can do is gain some knowledge and have a belt on you, or a handkerchief or something, and you know how to turn that into a tourniquet, well, that's a good way to go too. But the point is, do what you can at the level that you can do it at, and put yourself in a position to make a difference. I'll be doing a review of this little kit here in a little bit. This is called the Pocket Officer's Trauma Kit, and this was designed by a company called Rescue Essentials, and it was put together along the following lines. There are police departments that don't have a lot of money, and they can't afford to put one of these in the hands of every patrol officer, so they were looking for a kit that they could put in the hands of every patrol officer, and that's what Rescue Essentials came up with. There's a tourniquet in here, there's a pair of nitrile gloves, there is duct tape, and there is Z-Pack gauze dressing in here. And you can pick up one of these for like $15. There'll be a link to these things as usual in the description for the video. Not that I'm trying to sell you stuff, but people always want to know where to buy it. So, you know, you can't do this and take EMT training? Fine. $5, $15. The knowledge in your head costs you nothing to take with you everywhere you go. And those are ungun solutions that can potentially save lives. And those are precisely the kinds of things, as responsible firearms owners, responsible preppers, responsible people, for Pete's sake, that we ought to be making a part of our daily lives, gaining that kind of knowledge and that kind of capability. There'll be more ungun solutions coming up, as always. This is Zombie Tactics for today. We'll see you next time. Always keep your powder dry and aim for the head. Bye-bye.